about your change in your um, culture, what you were thinking about changing, and if that would bother me with it on your head.
Oh, okay, okay. So I asked your
You
opinion
asked me.
whether if I become like somebody
Correct. And
different from what
you
I'm,
talked
right,
about
my
your
teacher.
your teacher right there that could look at me, and I said
Yes,
that
you
he
like
was
them.
he's a friend. He looks just like a friend. If he did, if I brought him in and you put one of those hats on, he'd look just like him. He's
Nice.
very handsome.
I really love him. He's my favorite teacher so
Mm-hmm.
far because he makes it simple for me to understand the truths, and he comes from an angle of science of
Mm-hmm.
religion rather than like something like people make it out to be. And when people shift my thinking, the way I think of it is I grew up multiple different directions
Mm-hmm.
with different teachers, and somebody said this. I have no idea who it was. That who, when a mind is stretched beyond its limit, you can never shrink it back to its original size.
Really?
So whenever people, because the thinking is what gets us into trouble. It's
Correct.
thinking.
Yeah.
And when people shift my thinking, I have tremendous respect for them
Mm-hmm.
because
Mm-hmm.
they let me see the same thing in another way,
Yeah.
and it's so releasing.
Yes.
But the same thing is when people cause me mental agony, I cannot stand them. And that is one of the punishment also I go through. Because the reason I'm viewing them that way is because I have not understood them. I haven't spoken their language.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes I find it very challenging to be around Indian people, which is so weird. Because I the reason is they use a certain way of talking which bothers me.
Mm.
It feels like very opinionated.
Ah, yeah.
And I feel sometimes like saying, you haven't walked in my shoes. Please don't tell me
Right.
how to
Exactly.
be when you don't even know what it will be in my skin.
Right.
They'll give me advice. Like one lady was saying, I don't stick to Indian way of living. And she says how I need to cook my own meals and be a vegetarian. And I go
Mm-hmm.
to my psych hospital to work 60 hours straight. I'll work. I go in Friday morning and I'll get out Monday night. And I used to do all the diets differently
Mm-hmm.
until my husband called the police. And I was pregnant. I was sitting in the police station. They told me whoever calls first is the victim, and I was the abuser. And I since then learned never walking into my home hungry. I'll pull in, I'll do a dollar menu, and I'll go home. And if I have to cook, in addition to keep me vegetarian, take care of my kids, go to work, I would have no time. And I go home at like 11 o'clock at night. Yeah. I have enough time to like just look at my mail and go to sleep.
Right.
So I feel they are very good at giving advice because they live with husband, wife, and stuff.
Right.
Here, I live, even though I'm living with my family, I'm accountable for my behavior.
Mm-hmm.
He can call the police and I'll be homeless in 1 minute. So I think they come from a very different angle, and I'm not allowed to say they because it seems I'm coming from incompletion.
Oh,
They
my
are
son's a
saying,
vegetarian.
yeah, but what I'm saying is I can be a vegetarian after I finish my jobs, after I raise my kids, Right,
Right.
right now is not the time.
Right. Right.
But I find it very challenging because people find it so easy to throw out their opinion until I realize they're equally mentally sick. The only thing is, I assume just because they are acting normal, they are normal. When I use insanity scale, just like our mentally ill, it makes perfect sense to me. They can think differently. So that's why when people give me tools how to accept them in spite of, because my fear is I don't want to give a word I cannot keep.
Right.
So I don't want to agree with something
That
that
you don't agree with.
is ultimately the truth. Definitely, I want to be a vegetarian. Let me wait till I retire.
Right.
I don't have the luxury right now. So this is the fan version.
Ah.
You like it?
Yes, I love it.
And where do you want it? On the right leg, left leg?
Yes. My right leg.
And tight there. Happy Mother's Day.
Thank you, Myra.
And you're going to stay clean. Your walk is going to be
Uh,
walking towards your highest purpose. Remember that.
let me try to.
Do you want to?
I'm gonna try to find a little part-time job.
You will do.
I don't want to do that. A friend of mine works there. She says, "I want to go get you a job."
You want to bell on it?
Yeah.
You know why? Because in India there is a belief system.
Yeah.
The bell, if you hear, God is following you. Like how you say, when I walked alone, God carried me.
Carried me. Yeah.
The bell is the time when God carried you.
Mm-hmm.
And if you are looking back again and again, it is self-doubt. So never look back. Just keep moving.
Keep walking.
And God will catch up. He's going to guide you, whether by catching up or whether by giving you new direction. Don't self-doubt. Just keep moving along.
Yeah,
He's
don't
right by
question
you.
it.
And if you don't see him next to you, it means he's already carrying you.
Right.
So you are up on his shoulder. You cannot see his.
That's a 12-step.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Yeah, that's what I also. We do step this month, fifth step.
Yeah.
Because we do step program,
Uh-huh.
month of May, 5, right?
Yeah.
Fifth step is admitted to God,
Mm-hmm.
to another being, the exact nature of our wrong, right? So making amends. So this is going to be your bell, your sacred bell.
Mm.
When God is
Love it.
walking with you. You're going to be fine.
Yeah,
You're fighting my God.
forget you. I am. I'm okay. If I
You're
wasn't,
more than
if
okay.
I wasn't, I would tell you.
I will see it. You know you need to tell it.
Right.
I see it first and you see it next.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to call out on that. Because I don't want to let you walk blinded.
Mm-hmm.
You will be notified.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. So now, the other side, do you want the plain one? Or do you want it, so the other leg, like how I did? Or do you want to keep it in the hand? Where do you want this?
I want it on the wrist.
Which side?
Right there. I should put it on the opposite side.
Hmm?
Should I put it on the opposite side? Does it make a difference?
Doesn't matter. You can put it better. So these are all prayer threads where you resolve to end something.
Mm-hmm.
So each time you achieve the goal, bring it to the ocean, give it back to the ocean, ask me for another one.
Really?
Very good. Actually, when I went to India, I learned this trick.
Yeah.
They make these prayer threads. If you think you're falling apart,
Mm-hmm.
it means you just need a thread to tie yourself back. And get back being nobody. Don't be full of it. Don't try to be somebody.
Right there.
So just tie yourself back. You're falling apart because you didn't have a thread on
That's it.
you.
I'm going to remember that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So my script's there. I
Nice.
should be all set.
So I am the